Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today I'm on a beautiful launch from Galeon, the 560 Fly. I'm going to put it through a full performance evaluation and sea trial.
This is an owner-operator's yacht made for taking the family or friends on weekend getaways in comfort and style. She's also a premium-level entertaining platform, but for this video, we'll focus on what that owner-operator can expect from the experience of operating this beautiful yacht.
The lower helm starts with two large displays, compass mounted in the center of the console, slightly offset from the wheel, but not by much, so no points taken. Like to see that there are air conditioning vents, beverage holders, Volvo Penta display, bow and stern thrusters and electrical switches, Raymarine autopilot right alongside. The steering wheel is mounted to a tilt base. Digital engine controls over to the right-hand side along with the trim tabs. Convenient footrest just beneath. Love the upholstered helm. The fit and finish just continues everywhere, even along the sides. Beautiful visibility out the side. Big blind spot right there, but that's easy to overcome because you can just move your head a little bit, see out the side window. The helm seat is a double wide, 43 inches across, includes armrest. There's also drawer storage underneath. But out of all of this, I think my favorite feature has to be, you guessed it, the opening side door, giving the operator quick access to the side deck. Makes it convenient for single-handed or short-handed operations. Also notice, single-piece windshield. 9 feet 7 inches by 5 feet 4 inches. Just to the starboard side, inside the salon, panel that opens, giving you control for the generator and your Dometic systems. Above the refrigerators, panel opens, breakers for the household appliances. At the companionway leading down below, switching and circuit breakers. The flying bridge helm, starboard side mounted, two large display screens, compass in the center of the console rather than in line with the helm. Steering wheel is mounted to a tilt base. Volvo Penta display alongside on the bow and stern thruster, and then the Raymarine autopilot. There's a VHF, then waterproof electrical switches, and a Fusion stereo. Digital engine controls are on a separate platform that comes out and makes it convenient to work the controls from the seated position. Trim tab controls are just behind. The helm seat is 37 inches wide and it's in a fixed position. Beverage holder is integrated into the starboard side armrest.
Now let's go to the bow to see how Galeon handles ground tackle.
Two hatches up at the bow give us access to the chain locker, the anchor roller. The windlass is located just behind. A remote control spotlight is pedestal mounted to the port hand side.
Now while this is an owner-operator's boat, there are still times when it's nice to bring her work around long trips to handle the chores, cleaning, the oil changes, or other times we may have extra guests on board. In either case, there's space for crew on the 560 Fly.
There are crew quarters accessed from a door at the transom. Let's take a look at that. So we're set up for a crew of two. We've got over-under berths in an L-shaped fashion. There's a refrigerator underneath the upper berth. Small galley just against the transom. Nice fit and finish. There's still Alcantara suede here. Window at the transom, nice lighting. Head is over to the starboard side, and it is a wet head as expected. It's a combination washer dryer. Microwave is just alongside the door to the engine room, and then, of course, the watertight door to the engine room. Let's check that out. Well, we've got stooping headroom, 4 feet 5 inches from deck to the overhead, 2 feet 4 inches between the two engines. Here the mains are 725 horsepower Volvo Penta D11s. We can go up to 900 horsepower.
These are direct shaft drive engines, so you don't have to worry about maintaining pond drives.
Fuel tanks are to both sides, 290 gallons each, 1,000 liters.
And they're made out of 316 stainless steel.
17 kW generator, hot water heater just above. Batteries are located to the sides and over to this side as well.
Notice there's a stainless steel ladder for access from the cockpit, so in sloppy conditions, you don't have to go through the transom. Extraction fans are in the corners.
To the forward bulkhead, electrical, battery switches, firefighting system, and the two fuel filters.
One for each engine. The Galeon 560 Fly has a length overall of 58 feet 1 inch, a beam of 15 feet 7 inches, and a draft of 4 feet 6 inches. With an empty weight of 53,432 pounds, 80% fuel, and 3 people on board, we had an estimated test weight of 57,862 pounds. With a pair of 725 horsepower Volvo Penta D11s run up to 2,500 RPM, our speed topped out at 29.4 knots. Best cruise came in at 2,200 RPM and 23.5 knots. At that speed, the 55 gallon per hour fuel burn translated into 0.4 nautical miles per gallon and a range of 223.2 nautical miles, all while still holding back a 10% reserve of the boat's 581 gallon total fuel capacity. Now, if you look at the full performance results, you'll notice that we get 0.4 nautical miles per gallon from her full speed of 2,500 RPM all the way down to 1,500 RPM. That's an interesting detail right there, and it means that you can pretty much set the speed of this boat to the conditions that are prevailing in the comfort level of the boat at the time, rather than worrying about fuel consumption. You'll get the same economy all the way through the range. Also, I should point out that this boat has straight shaft drives, which means less maintenance and lower cost of repair if you run aground.
The handling characteristics of the 560 is very yacht-like. It's a heavy boat, and it feels like a heavy boat. Nothing happens fast, and you don't want it to. But if you really start muscling it around, I can get it to turn around in short order, but that's not the way to drive this boat. Drive it straight, drive it true, and it feels really nice that way. Sadly, I didn't have any conditions that were going to test how she handles in heavy sea conditions. Even if I went offshore, it was flat calm out there today, so we stuck to the intracoastal. Crossing through the wakes of passing yachts, the wake of the camera boat, things along those lines. No pounding, no hull slap, just nice clean penetration through. A good feel as we went through that the boat wasn't fighting those waves. More to the point, however, was handling it in close quarters. I mean, bringing the boat out of this dock, tight space, maneuvering it on the engines, didn't really use the thrusters much at all, but I did a little bit. And then coming out through this narrow fairway, not much room on either side, and it handled really nicely. So she's really responsive to the throttles and to the steering. I saw it mostly when I was bringing her back in and I docked her into this tight little slip that's barely wider than the boat, and I only used the engines, just differential power on the engines, and got her turned around, backed in. I can steer it with the engines. I mean, you saw I was kind of just hanging over the rail with my hand on each of the throttles and just lined the corner of the stern up, brought it in along that slip, squeezed it right in, just like putting on a glove. It was so easy to handle.
Remember, this is a straight shaft drive, not IPS and no joystick, and it doesn't need one. The bow thrusters are plenty of help if needed.
This is an ideal owner-operator's boat. Got crew quarters, but you know what I would use the crew for? Cleaning, changing the oil, that kind of stuff that I don't want to do. Aside from her yacht-like handling characteristics and solid feel, this is also a fun boat to be on and entertain guests on, but that's a different video. Be sure to look for it. For now, this is my full sea trial and performance evaluation of the 560 Fly from Galeon. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.